Recording in progress.
I hear that. Whoa. All righty then.
So it's you first, Barbara. We always start with financials, so let's,
We look particularly good this month because of the $10,000 grant we got. But again, year to date, fantastic. You know, our sales are, we've never had a year this good. So let's communally knock on wood and hope it works. You hope it continues. Does anybody have any
Yeah.
questions?
Want to talk about investments?
Well, just a sec on the financials. Does
Oh,
anyone
I'm
have-
sorry. Okay. No, as
Okay.
long as
There
it
is a
looks-
big difference.
Pardon? Did someone say something I didn't hear? Okay.
all right, so we can move on to the investment account information.
So
have- Have you
I
looked
talked
at
to
it?
a friend of mine is really smart with money. I'm not, but he told me everything about Vanguard, and then I called Vanguard, and after an hour, I had too much information and I had to say stop. But I started with him by saying we are enormously risk averse, and we work very hard for our money, so losing any, we couldn't tolerate that. So of course, the least risk you're willing to undertake, the lower the interest rate. But he did show me some, I think they are a combination of money market and bonds, and the risk is certainly higher than investing in a CD, and you get maybe 1 or 2% more. And at that point, my brain kind of exploded and I left it as is. But if anyone is interested in doing that, I can certainly call him back and work on it. So questions, I'm not sure I'll be able to answer them, but
Well, you're intrepid. I inherited some Vanguard. I've done nothing with it, but just keep it, and it has made so much money. It blew my mind.
yeah, I think, as I said, my friend is really smart with money and he has quite a bit there, but he can also afford to lose it, so.
Yeah.
So now, is this a term? Are we locked in for a certain amount of time, or do we have access to this money at any point if we need
You have
it
access to the money
without a
whenever you
fine?
need it. Whenever you just, whoever would be in charge of it would transfer it to our
Uh-huh.
regular bank account.
Okay,
And-
well, that's
And I don't believe there are any penalties. I did ask that, let's see. Liquidity, no penalties or fees. But the gains, we need to remember that the gains are taxable, although I don't think we pay taxes, so,
you have to make a certain amount first.
yeah.
Sounds like a good area for us to invest in.
The rates, Barbara, like
Pardon?
interest rates? Did he tell you how much the interest rates are?
It depends what fund you pick.
Yeah, like for instance, the bond money market combination. Did he-
That was like 2%, I think, so it might
That's
have been,
pretty-
yeah,
2% is a pretty good rate right now for liquid money.
yeah.
What are our CDs making?
They always renew, right,
They
automatically.
do renew automatically.
Yeah,
They
and whatever.
probably
They
make
do,
about what you
yeah.
found at a, what was
Yeah,
that? Like,
the CDs I got, but of course they're tiered. I only did it for $10,000. I didn't know how much money, and it's pathetic. You know, I mean, the 7 month CD is 0.20. You know, so it's like what, 15%? I mean, 1.5% or something like that. It's very little.
Very little, but no risk.
Yeah.
Right, right. And it's, you know, it's, and then what do they have here? They have a plan, they have a savings account actually too. But again, it's even lower than that. So it just pays a little bit, and the, you know, I mean, anything helps a little bit, you know, if it's liquid and we don't take a risk, I think, you know, why not? We always can withdraw it, and in the meantime, you earn a little bit of money. So that's my view.
What are you talking about, CDs? Is that what you mean?
Well, even or the money market, if that's a liquid with Vanguard, I think Vanguard would be a better investment than a bank. You know, I mean, I think they have more choices how they handle our money. You know, the bonds and stuff. A bank wouldn't have that too often. So
that's right.
You know, and bonds usually earn a little more interest.
But in investments, you're not financially covered at all, where banks you are. I mean,
That's
if we
right.
had hundreds of thousands and something happened, we wouldn't lose that money necessarily with banks, but we will with an
Well,
investment
you're
firm.
insured up to $10,000 with a bank.
And also the bank, is that all it is?
I didn't quite hear you.
Let me go get my thing.
I think whatever we decide in this board meeting, I think the independent board should also give us a feeling of how they feel. I think this is a major step for us. What I can do is go back into the Vanguard site tomorrow. My friend,
I actually,
Say it again, Sally. We didn't hear you.
I haven't said anything.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
so I can go back on the Vanguard site tomorrow and look at the specific fund that my friend told me about and see what interest it's paying. Now, I do remember in the 2008 crash, they lost a ton of money. So, you know, that even with this very risk-averse fund that they invest in, and it took them years to get back to what they had invested or where they considered normal. So, you know, we've all forgotten about 2008 because that was a long time ago, but what?
Nothing. Talking to myself again.
Well, I think
Can
maybe
I
we should.
talk? Go ahead, Sarah.
No, I was waiting for you. You're gonna hand up.
I thought Sally had her hand up.
Sally,
I can honestly tell you, this is where I'm at. I mean, I have investments, but I don't think we should be doing this with our Oasis money. We're a nonprofit. We shouldn't be risking the money that you, Barbara, and everybody has worked hard to make. So if I was to vote, I'd say no.
You know, I agree with
I'd
you,
say
Sally.
keep the
I
CDs
agree.
going.
I am so risk
If you
averse.
get a longer CD,
Yeah, I'm pretty risk averse myself. I was just hoping.
I do know one thing. My sister has a, yeah. my sister has a checking account in a, what are they called, Nancy? In a credit union, and she makes money every month from that checking account in the credit union. Maybe we should look at a few credit unions and see if they have that kind of give back like she has in her credit union. I mean, that's something to consider too. I mean, what is your percentage, Nancy? Oh, is that all?
But we're in a board meeting.
It makes something like 0.2% every month. And if we're just gonna have it money sitting in there, then it would make a fair amount of money.
Well, it's wrong.
That's all my financial knowledge.
Can you find the link? Okay, bye. That was Ellen. Her computer is a half hour behind the times. So. And I guess I missed what Sally was saying, that maybe look into a credit union. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah, that's what she said. We could try DuPont maybe.
Well, I would,
See if they have a better give back.
Are credit unions insured? FDIC?
Oh,
It's
that's a good
NCUA.
question.
I don't think credit unions are insured.
They are insured and
They are?
it's NCUA insured instead of FDIC. So they have their own
Oh, okay.
underwriter,
I didn't know that.
but up to 100,000, yes.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't see us having 100,000 for a little while yet.
Well,
we're not far off.
Maybe not in my lifetime anyway.
So, would you like us to look into a credit union? I personally would go to Parkview, but
I think that probably would be a safer option.
You have to have some kind of a religious connection to get into Parkview.
No, you don't.
no, you don't.
I tried to get into Parkview when I went to, and they would not let me in.
Okay, well, let me just look into it. Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
I think so. I like it.
I belong to the DuPont Community Credit Union. I can check with them too.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
Have my
Yeah,
business
I get
account
pretty
there.
good returns from DuPont, actually.
And I
Yeah.
belong to the UVA, and my money market is completely liquid, and I'll have to check on the, obviously the interest isn't high, but there is interest.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Okay, Sarah, the thing to do is when you check is that we have unlimited check writing with, and we never pay a fee. So, we don't want to be moving things and then start paying fees.
yeah, because there goes any interest you might have gotten. out
That's
of it.
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
that is true of UVA. That's the one I know. Yeah, checking is free. You can do online transfers from your money market to your checking account when you need it.
And I know somebody in the, one of the stock investment places that I've known since, for the last 20 years or so. I might give her a call and just see what she thinks about it. I think they work with some nonprofits too, so see what Kelly has to say.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's a good, I'm glad you gave me the unlimited check writing and no fees, so I have at least some parameters to ask them about.
Etta, it's not a bad idea to go to Union and say, we are looking into all different kinds of banking. Can you do any better for us?
When I
Oh,
was a
that's
banker,
great.
I loved those people when they came to me.
Did you?
I didn't like it.
Well, you know,
And
we,
then I said, well, how about my customer service?
yes, and they have been very good to us. So I
Yeah.
don't want to just all pull out our money just
No, they have been good. to
for a
us.
few cents more.
Well, and we have an account at Pendleton too. Do they have,
It's small though.
yeah,
Also, you are talking about personal accounts. So if we have a nonprofit, that's a little different category. So we have to, they usually don't go fall under the personal account requirements. But it's all good stuff to find out, and I will check with the Union Bank and see if they can do better.
But it sounds like we're not going to do Vanguard, right?
I say no.
I say no.
I vote
Well,
no.
I think that we could possibly lose money on. I would say we're, shouldn't be authorized to do maybe.
Right, right, because it's not really our money
Yeah,
Right.
the risk, right.
to lose.
I mean, if we know we're gonna gain, that's different, but if we have the possibility of,
Never any guarantees.
yeah.
Thanks for looking into that, Barbara.
You see my brain exploding?
Yes, I
I'm
can.
sure you,
I can
I'm
only-
sure you learned something.
I thought it was just the humidity on your hair.
Well, it takes a village, so we'll
Yeah.
find the best option and we'll
Yeah.
know it when we
Yeah.
find it. So anyway, moving on, the schedule, I have the link scheduled to go out tomorrow. So I've figured out how to work that into my life. And I will plan to send it out right after the board meeting each month. So that will give people, an extra 10 days from where it would have been if I sent it out on the 1st of next month.
So
I would
after,
be very interested to know if people end up changing more.
Yes, I will monitor that.
how did it work this past month then? Was that
Well,
okay?
it's fine. I mean, I have to do the same thing. I just have to figure out what to work it around so that I remember to do it at
Right.
that point in time.
I wondered
do
if
it too
last
far
month had more
ahead.
changes.
Well, so far, no, we've been okay.
Good.
With as far as changes. So, if I have it in my mind to do it around the board meeting time, then that's my primary job. So we'll try that and see. And if that extra week or two starts causing a lot of changes, then I'll just slide back to the 1st of the month. And I didn't offer any explanation. I started to when I was typing it, telling people what I was like, no, that just causes confusion. Just send the link. They're happy to get the link and get their days on there.
Yep.
So, and it might be more helpful, especially with holidays coming up and the busy time, show season. So we'll see how it goes.
What? Oh,
What?
Joe
What's wrong,
season?
Ellen?
Oh,
Oh,
Ellen's got customers too.
Okay.
hi, how are you? Welcome to the gallery.
Did you skip Etta and the cash and credit card?
I sure did. I skipped right over that.
All right, here we
Yes.
go. I had a few hiccups lately with rent payments. Like, I had cash payments with the wrong name. I had credit cards without a name, and I missed seeing the payment. So there were a few hiccups, and I thought it was time to maybe make a few changes. And I was wondering, or I would like that the person who is taking the payment to make receipts as I think it's really important when somebody pays cash that they get a receipt. And also put a receipt in the envelope for that day when the rent is paid. And also for a credit card, if you accept it at the Oasis and going through Square. It's just it gives me a double checkpoint, so I know that I gave all the right people the right credit. Because last time I had, like I said, I had a cash payment, the wrong name was on the cash payment, and so I gave that person credit, and I wrote a late letter to another person who said I paid cash, and so it becomes very uncomfortable because it's cash money, and I like it black and white. So if that could be done, that would be very nice. So
The
could we
receipt
do-
book is in the green envelope, green bag,
And
right?
yeah, there's a receipt, or if you do, you can do a receipt on Square, or you can write a receipt. I mean, but
You
please,
can't do it on Square. Please don't cash, not on Square.
not cash, but the credit payment.
The
If
credit
somebody gives-
payment, we used to say that the person who did it had to print a receipt
Right.
and write the name on it. So that's.
Right, and put it in the envelope for that day, because
Yeah,
the last month I look every day on our record, the sales record, if there is a rent payment. And for some reason, one day I oversaw it. I mean, I missed it. So I wrote wrote a late letter to that person. And, so those things can be all avoided, and I don't like to make mistakes.
however, Edda, that person paid on the 31st of the
I
month.
know, I know,
So, it's
I know, but still, it could have been,
right.
yeah, I agree. And that
Rent is
brings-
due on the 7th, by the 7th of the month.
Right, and that's another thing. I think I know the rent payment due is on the 7th, but I wonder if we could maybe make it the 10th. I don't know, it's for some reason, to me, it makes a difference, or leave it this way, but I don't want to start late payments. But that's maybe something we need to write in the letter, that if it's, if the rent is not received by the whatever date, 7th or 10th, that in the future we may have to use late payments, because I had 7 people I had to write letters to last month, even without the-
Okay.
So what is your thought on this? I like your input, please.
You're muted,
Well, I
Barb.
have him.
Okay,
Barb?
I'm sorry. My thought is if someone's paying cash, they've been into Oasis in person. So I don't think they should be leaving cash for the docent to have to take care of a job they could do. They could put their own name on a piece of paper and paper clip it and walk it back to the cash box, to the envelope, receipt bag themselves. Do you see what I'm saying?
I
how
think it's a
does-
double check. I think it's a double check because it's cash. We do that with Bahir. We write a receipt for him every month.
Okay.
I that's not asking a lot of the docent.
I just thought if someone left cash for, and just I'm just imagining someone walking in real quickly and saying, oh, here's my rent money. I'm in a hurry. Could you put it in the bag for me? And sort of, bopping out. And then the docent gets busy and, I don't know. I mean,
Well, I think it's
I
just,
haven't had to deal with it, so I don't know.
well, when it comes to cash, I really feel it is important to have a backup. Like a back proof that they paid it, and I get a copy of that receipt, and I see that they paid, and I give them credit. That's what I'm concerned about, because once the cash is gone, I mean, how do the people, how do we know who paid?
So I think we
Oh.
should make sure that the people know that all of the docents know that if they're coming in and paying cash, they are responsible for writing that receipt. Because I think most of the time that's who's putting it in there. They're doing it themselves. So they would need to write that receipt.
And the receipt book is in the green envelope, I mean, in the green you know, it's not that hard to do, so.
Right.
I also have some coin envelope or large and small coin
Okay.
envelopes. I could donate a few so that all rent payments went into their own envelope in the bag. Would that help? Then you can label
Nice.
it.
I mean, I don't want to make it harder, but if
No.
that's not, you know,
Well,
that-
I had
Any
to
of-
take a cash payment the other day and I didn't know the instructions, but it was obvious to me that it needed a label of some sort. So
Yeah, I mean-
that made me think, oh, if there was an envelope there, then I'd know where to put it and I could write who paid it to me.
I think people do that with the envelopes we've got there. They just
Yeah.
put a note inside to say that it's rent for so-and-so.
I wrote it on the.
Yeah,
on the
That's
top
what
of
I
it.
usually do.
Yeah.
Okay.
so
Like-
Keep it simple.
I'll keep my envelopes too.
Yeah, but here has an envelope, he just leaves in that little box where the envelope is, and when he just takes the same envelope out with his name on it and puts it, you know, back in the green bag, and then,
Oh,
I will give him the envelope back, so he only uses one envelope every
Right.
month.
if you just give it back or put it back
Yeah,
in
so
the,
he writes Bahia on the back and then the envelope is used up, so he can use it
Okay,
again.
how about this, Etta? How about this? When I get ready to type up the notes, I'm gonna type up and run it by you about how you want people to do stuff.
Okay,
And I'll type it up and
There's a
put it in
shell
minutes,
upstairs.
okay?
okay, sounds good.
So nobody heard me?
No, we heard you. We agree with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
good, move on then.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Etta,
Well, thank you.
for helping us to try to make that better.
Move on.
Moving along. So did anyone look at the flags? I sent an attachment. So Joanna went ahead and ordered the flags for us.
I
So one will
did.
be red and one will be that darker blue color. And I thought they looked pretty good.
Okay, yeah.
So, and then she said, well, we'll have to get that one pole fixed. I said, well, we don't have to worry about that. We'll have the flags. We'll go from there. But
Yeah.
it'll be nice to have fresh flags for best weekend ever.
Yeah, I've got the other one here at the house and working on figuring out how either put a sleeve on it or try gluing everything together. Excuse me, with a really good epoxy, so.
Well, I'm sure that it's going to come back better and stronger.
Yeah.
And then the JMU block party, I guess that's the next thing that's coming up for us. So do we have a time frame when we are doing our handprints?
They haven't put out the time yet, but
Okay,
it is generally late afternoon, I think. Sarah, Sally, like
Yeah.
4 o'clock usually or something.
Well, maybe something till around 4. I can't remember when they marched down with the band, but
Yeah.
it's after lunch, I'm pretty sure.
So Sally got a lot of volunteers with
yay.
her note. Yep.
My nasty note.
But so I think we have enough people to man that. Natalie, you should not be driving for that. So
Well,
just-
then I'll come the next day to help with the guitars. I can be free that weekend to do
Okay.
whatever
All right.
to be done.
Um,
And if you don't have enough volunteers, I'll just spend the night and, and do both. But yeah, if there are plenty of volunteers, that's great.
well, it triples the number that in the last years, only Sarah, Sally, and I have done it. So Sally got Anna and her friends, Donna Dietrich, and so that doubles the
Oh, wow.
staff.
Nice.
So I think we're okay on that. And I don't know what time, but as soon as we find out, we'll communicate that. We have about an hour set up before the whole thing starts, so. And then we have tear down, and it'll be nice to have some young bodies to help with that.
Yes, absolutely. Anything
Yeah,
else that we
next-
need?
The
for it?
next thing with the guitars, it would be nice if we had set up that as people bring guitars in, we just put them directly into the window or on the balcony or wherever they're gonna be displayed. Because
Can I interrupt first? Can I interrupt, please? Back with the JMU block party, I pulled up Andrea's note and she goes 2021 block party, August 28th, 2:30 to 4:30.
Okay,
And
great.
that's
Okay.
the time she's got that they're coming, 2:30 to 4:30.
So that kind of means that.
Yeah,
we
and I
need-
think I put that on the time when I was asking for volunteers.
Okay, so we need to start at about 1 or 1:30 to get set up.
set up by 2 or whatever,
Correct.
probably.
It's the
Good.
last, am I muted?
No, now you are.
The last one that they had was 4:30 to 6:30, so they've really changed the time if they're gonna
Yeah.
stick with that.
Do you think
Thanks.
Coach,
Thank you. I thought my memory was going bad.
No, you were right. I remember it was later and that's why I was surprised that it was that early. And they're still thinking 5,000 students.
do you think that
So I don't know.
restrictions are going to change anything with that?
What?
Hard to
Who
say.
knows?
It,
Yeah.
yeah, because it changes every day. It's hard to say.
You may have to.
So I would say just be ready for a change at the last minute because it could come. Hopefully, things will proceed as planned. But we're again in the time of uncertainty.
Well, the block party thing is an easy thing to duck out of if they change. The one I'm more concerned about is Best Weekend Ever, but we'll
Yes.
get to that later. So are we done with the block party, Sally?
Yeah.
So Sarah, you were saying that it would be good to have on the receiving end, people putting things in the window, right?
Right, for the, if we had some people staying at the gallery, other people carrying things over. There, some of them that go in boxes, I'm fine with anybody carrying, but there's some that are pretty delicate and can't go in, don't have a box to go in, so have to be pretty much hand carried almost by themselves, or just one or two in a car, so. We
Well-
don't want to damage anything, especially ones that are sold already.
What time does that start, moving the guitars? When do you want to start? What time?
I think we said 2:30, didn't we, Sally?
Yeah, it floated around between 2 and 3. First it was 3 and then I saw 2, so we could say 2:30. 2:30 works.
Okay.
So be at
Are you
the,
hearing me?
Yeah,
so be at 2:30, be at the gallery, not the gallery, but the,
VMRC.
yeah.
And
Okay.
I think maybe Sarah and I should go beforehand and designate which ones go in which windows and which ones go upstairs.
well, and we can bring the boxes we have at the gallery and put a box that goes with the guitar, with the guitars, and then the people that are transporting them will be fine. Whoops.
Oasis Gallery, this is Ellen.
I'm muting Ellen
Okay.
while she's on the phone. Yeah, so I think Sarah and I'll do some prep work before people start moving. And Sarah and I know which ones are really delicate, so we can manage that, I guess. Right, Sarah?
Right,
Always
That's fine.
sign Sarah up for stuff.
yeah.
And
No,
then
I-
will the two of you be at Oasis to place the guitars in the windows as they come back?
I
think
think,
Great idea.
yeah, I think, I thought I muted her.
We have.
There. I think what I'll do is load my car up and then go to Oasis before everybody else. And then I can be in one window and, somebody else can be in another one.
Yeah, I think that's really a good idea.
Okay, since I have that list of people, perhaps you, Barbara and Sarah, and I can talk about who we want to stick where, because I was really impressed at the fact that I got a lot of people who said they would help. And so we can say, okay, you go get a load, but we need you to stay here and do this and do that. Like, keep more than just the two of you at Oasis.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, does that sound all right?
Why don't we
What-
talk
Okay.
about that
Whatever-
offline,
We'll
okay?
talk.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll work all that stuff out later.
My phone is,
but good that we have had some other people.
that's what I just said.
It's refreshing. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Eve had another thing to discuss about the
Yes.
window decal. So I thought we would just bring that up at the meeting and get somebody's feel for that. So if you want to talk.
That was some feedback I got from a couple of gallery members and a couple of people on the window crew, that the two different things really, that the lettering is starting to look kind of obviously cracked and worn.
Right.
And the window people felt, and I didn't see it at first, but then I got the idea they were talking about, that the lettering is just a little bit large and low for making the most of our displays. It kind of clashes with what we're trying to display. So that is really it. I don't think there's anything else for me. And I don't know what miraculous methods are used to, how hard it would be to replace the lettering.
We got that from Eddie Edwards Sign Company.
Quite a
How
few years
old is
ago.
it?
Well, the front one we had to replace about 5 years into it. Somebody threw a beer bottle in.
Oh,
The other one's, is 20 years old, I guess.
so
The other one
the
is-
front one is 15 years old?
Yeah, I think so. And the one on Water Street's probably 20. So,
That's a good while then, isn't it?
yeah.
About time.
So,
That stuff's expensive, kids.
Yeah,
but do you think that what we should wait until it like deteriorates more, or prices will also increase?
well, we could get a estimate from the sign company where we got it. Would they still have that file in their files?
Right.
They do, because I got the Oasis decals that we put on the towers from
Okay.
them, and they had that. I mean, I was pretty impressed they could find it, but we ought to get the correct wording. It's the wrong wording, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't,
It has an extra S, doesn't it?
yeah.
I'll go by and ask them for a quote, but you're talking about two different things here, Eve. You're talking about new signage as well as smaller signage? Am I hearing you right?
No, just moving it a little higher.
Did you want it smaller too, or just higher?
Well, I personally don't have an opinion. I was just delivering other feedback from other people, and I haven't considered it myself. Except I do think it's a bit low for the size of lettering that we're using.
So maybe just put it up higher.
I thought that might be all that was needed.
Okay.
I hate to be a
I
wet blanket here, but our name is really more important than the window display
Why do you think that?
because that's how people find us,
Yeah,
by our name.
but do you think that if it was up a couple more inches, that would be harder to find? We've got other outdoor signage.
As I
And
said,
well, anyway, I think that some people find us by our name. Some people already know where to find us, and some people enter because of what they see in the window. So I think they all work together.
Good
How
point.
about this? How about as each one of us are at the gallery over the next couple weeks, everybody look and see how they feel the deterioration is of because we're not going to move it unless it's really deteriorating,
Yeah,
unless it really needs to be replaced.
that's a
And
great
then if it
idea.
needs to be replaced, then we can rethink the position.
Yeah,
And everybody just kind of write down what they think. And let us know if they think and it's looking pretty bad and it's time to replace it. Okay? Does that
good
work?
idea.
Sounds workable.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so best weekend ever. How are we shaping up, Barbara?
good, we're good. Kid Zone is looking good. Pendleton Bank, we're getting a few more people over there, including Bahir. Sarah's gonna build him a studio.
He's a spoiled guy.
Well, he is such an attraction.
Yes, he
so-
is. The young people love him.
Yes, yes. So, and I was thinking today,
Yeah, so do the older women,
Oh, really?
because he's cute.
and so let's see, Dinah Mitchell Bailey and I will be joining him, and I've asked a few other people, so we'll see how that works out. If anybody knows anyone who would like to put up a tent and sell their artwork or whatever they make, have them contact me. It's no commission, no fee. Just come sell and add some energy to the day.
What about Rebecca Bridge?
Oh, that's a good idea. Good
No, because
idea.
even if she doesn't want to do it, she has people working with her that she may
Right.
send over.
Great idea.
And the other one I thought about, Sarah, this is for you. How about Rich? How about
Rich,
if you have
yeah,
your kids over with a tent?
Well,
Yeah.
they're gonna have an event there. If they had Gemma painted
Oh,
wings.
right, okay. So
and-
they
and
had, they're
that
doing.
is
it
gonna
at
bring
their-
a lot of
their
people.
store
there.
open.
Yeah, yeah.
that day. Yeah, do we need extra tents to people that aren't going to, if anybody on the board or other people that have show tents that, those easy up tents, we might need a couple of extras. I know Jackson said he had one and I've got one, so
I had one.
Sally's got one. We did,
Well, I have at least one extra and I might be able to get my hands on another one.
And my niece said we could borrow hers, and I just
Okay.
ordered one because we always seem to need one, so.
okay, so it sounds like we probably have enough then.
Well, we'll count them when we see that, like Jackson's in your tent, but right, Sarah?
Right, we can be together, I think, in one.
But doesn't he also have one? I think he.
Yeah,
has-
he has a tent, so you can either use his tent or you can use my tent someplace else or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your tent is so nice. Why don't we have you use that for Bahir?
Well, we can do that. That'd be fine. Yeah, that works. And then I'll know what. Yeah, we could use the pro panels possibly out there with that to set up his studio area or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Sarah,
great.
you're a marvel. I love to watch you create. That's great. Good idea.
Sarah, my tent is smaller, so a little bit smaller than yours if you want to make his space smaller.
Yeah. That or are you going to need a tent with the
Yeah. With her
the
sand art, she needs a
sand-
tent.
you
Oh,
could
yeah,
use your tent for that?
I forgot.
I've
Yeah,
got to
all
go.
right.
Bow out.
Bye, Barb.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Okay.
All right.
All right. So, and anything else for that best weekend that we need to work on that some of us might be able to take a little bit off of your plate or?
I think
I
it's
think
pretty
Friday
well
night.
organized. Sarah and I are going to get together and work out a tent chart for the Jimmy Madison's where the kids are going, the kids
Mhm.
stuff. And everybody, I think we're good, actually. The one thing we haven't worked out, we had originally talked about selling tickets to use as currency in the kids zone. But I think, as far as I can tell, it's only Anna and her face body painting that's going to require money. I think everything else is free. So maybe we just let Anna take money. I don't.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right. That-
Right.
Just
Okay.
make sure she's got a lot of chains because people will be giving her 20s and it'll be like a
Yeah,
couple of dollars.
right. And then we had a request from a children's author to join the kids zone, and she can handle her own money
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Great.
So
Great.
yeah.
So
I'll-
there's no, I'm sorry, so there's no charge for the necklaces, the sand necklaces?
I don't, unless you want to, but I think that
No,
was
I-
sort of an Oasis giving back kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
we're buying the supplies and when they run out, we stop. It's basically is, hopefully we'll have enough to last the day, but if we have any extra, we can always use it with second home.
right, okay.
All right. What about those porcelain painters, Barbara?
What about those porcelain painters?
Any new news there?
How about
I-
them porcelain?
Well, Herta has kicked herself into high gear with all of these big ideas. I won't bore you with them, but the marketing committee has been very responsive to her, and I'm sure she's impressed. She wants this to be publicized to the Bridgewater and EMU. We all know Michael Huff, and I'll send him something as soon as Herta gives me the words, but I don't know anybody at EMU. So I mean, we could send something into the art department. It'll never get distributed, I'm sure, but
Right. Well, Joanna was going to go ahead and get the posters printed up. We talked about that this morning. And one of the suggestions was to put them at places like VMRC, where, those folks in there are probably in the right age range for this porcelain painting. And also maybe looking for something to do.
let me just redirect that a little bit. I don't think VMRC has a bulletin board, but Lolly Miller is in charge of their activities. And getting a hold of her would be the thing to do, see if she could arrange a field trip. But you know, they are so worried about COVID. You have to
Yes.
wear a mask there
I
now.
know.
So I don't know if they're doing any field trips.
Well, and all we can do is promote it however we see fit. And then in the end, if they don't show, then
We
we
could
did our-
ask her to put it in their newsletter.
Uh-huh.
Right.
One thing I noticed on the poster, though, I don't think there was any contact or registration information.
I did notice that as well,
Yeah,
but it does say Oasis. So I
Right.
think that would send them back to us. And
So
then
we have to make sure that anyone who answers the phone knows what to say. Because I wanted to send it on to the lodge here, because they do field trips and there's a lot of interest in, you know, making stuff. But
So when you send it, you can also include in your email the information, the contact information,
Well,
or
isn't it just in Eventbrite?
what?
I don't know, because the poster didn't tell me.
To sign up for the workshops, Barb Paul made an Eventbrite thing.
Right, but that's not on the poster.
No,
the
but
poster-
isn't that the information that we want to send along?
Right, yes.
Yeah,
So we
I
can
asked
just copy
Joanna
that.
if there was any more information, but I haven't heard back yet. But apparently, I don't know if this is true for other places. The lodge is smaller than Sunnyside and VMRC, but apparently Ian thinks that it's maybe too late for the lodge because their activity schedule is made up in advance and their driving schedule.
But
Maybe
if,
it's,
if they have a newsletter, you know, they could put it in the newsletter and people could go independently.
Right. The same
Right.
thing.
What's the date? What's the date?
sorry?
What is the date of porcelain?
9/24 and 25.
Thank you. Okay.
Great.
Okay, so now here's our big question. What do we do about masks these days? Where are we going with this?
What a weird. I just think it's, you know, for the people who are not vaccinated and they don't tell you and they don't wear a mask, you know, I just, at this time, I just will wear a mask out of, you mean, I'm vaccinated fully, so, but I just feel like, so I don't spread anything to anybody else, you know, because I still can carry the virus without knowing. And so that's, I think, is that okay?
I think that's perfectly fine. I think my bigger question is, do we want to start mandating? Or do we want to leave this optional at this point? I feel like a lot more people are wearing masks. I am seeing a lot.
Especially young people.
And I like the fact, and I think most people appreciate having the option. But are we in such fear that we're at a point that we feel like we need to start mandating, or do we feel comfortable enough as it is? And Sarah
feel
sent a poster today that I thought was fabulous that we could put on our door.
It's got, like, it's from the state site, but it's got like all the suggestions of what to do.
Yes, and I like that because, and I think people appreciate that. And most people have enough sense to feel like if I'm in a large crowd, I need to put the mask back on. But
Come here. Come here.
I get the
I
dispatch.
think we need to let Jilly say something.
hi,
I
Jilly.
think Jilly needs to be
I
able
get
to
the-
talk.
I get the dispatch from the nursing, Virginia Nursing, and they did say that it is recommended, strongly recommended, I think is what it says, that all people wear masks in indoor spaces. This is what the governor says also. It isn't mandated yet. Now, I'm seeing signs all over town that say, you know, the CDC strongly recommends that everybody wear a mask in indoor spaces. Means everybody, including vaccinated persons. And I think if we can get hold of one of those, or like yours, you've got your sign, Sarah, and that's great. And I
That's
think
what
we
the
should put it
sign
on
said.
Yeah, we should put it on the door. And so far, leave it at that. But if we get any, excuse the expression, max holes in there, I think we should feel free to ask them to leave if they're going to be mask holes about it and be deliberately provocative. I think we should feel free to ask them to leave. And if they won't leave, to call the police and have them escorted out. Because I don't really want any of that kind in there.
We haven't had anybody like that the whole time. All
I
these
know we
months, we've
haven't,
not
but they're
had
around.
anybody that aggressive.
And they are getting bolder, Sally.
Yeah, well,
The only other thing I want to say, and this is a personal note, today I became a great grandmother
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
to a
Congratulations.
perfect, beautiful little girl, Liliana Rosemary Dawn.
Lovely.
I just wanted to throw that out.
Great.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Good news.
I hadn't been able to tell too many people.
Aw, well, thanks for sharing with us.
I'm pretty excited.
So what is everybody else's general consensus about how we want to approach this new mask situation?
I think at this time we have to work on our comfort zone, you know, I think as individuals, that's how I feel. If you don't feel like you need to wear a mask and you have your vaccination, you know, I mean, and you feel comfortable, I don't know. I just gonna wear a mask, that's all.
I think you're right. I find that more and more people are wearing masks indoors, and I'm not sure that isn't what we should be encouraging, but not Gestapo style. And
I
put the
also think-
sign on the door and hope that people do what they.
I also feel like if somebody wears a mask coming into the gallery and you wear your mask, it's kind of a respect level there, I think, to me at least, you know, that you respect what they're doing. So, and
Yeah.
so I feel that's okay with me. But everybody's different.
I always wear the mask when someone comes in, and I feel like that is like good service.
Right, I agree
And
with you.
so that's as far as that goes. It doesn't really solve the problem, but I think that's a good policy, and that isn't too hard to adopt. I also want to contribute that I love what they did at Sheets, which is a hangout that is known for non-masking, but they just had a nice little flippy sign that says, "Come on, just wear a mask," you know. And that's how that is one way of looking at it. It's not that big of a deal.
So I am more on the page with trying to keep it in the comfort zone. If you feel comfortable, if you're okay with it, then we'll just kind of let people. I don't want to have to police the door until I have to police the door. No.
Right.
So put a nice sign that suggests that you do the right thing. But if they come in and they're not wearing it, then, you know, okay, we'll just wear ours and be respectful.
And that's probably not dangerous or anything.
Right.
As long as nobody gets belligerent about it, I'm cool.
If it becomes mandated by the governor, then I am ready to police the door, because then at that point, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Right.
But I also want all of us to feel comfortable being in Oasis in the situation.
Mhm. And wearing ours if
Right, and
we
cleaning,
want to.
you know, maybe up the cleaning a little bit again. I'm sure a lot of us have gotten lax because we're vaccinated and things looked better.
The cleaning is a good idea anyway. If there were no COVID, we really
Yeah.
could have thought of doing it.
Look at this girl.
Well,
Oh,
She is so hungry.
She's so
Oh,
beautiful.
hello, hello.
today, today I have to,
It's a cat meeting.
Yes.
she's a cute cat. Today, I have to tell you though, the hand sanitizer at the door was totally empty. So I don't know how many days it's been empty, but I filled it when I went in. But it was dry as the bone.
I guess
Still had some
Yeah,
in when I
that's
was there
right,
last.
Gertie.
write it in on the list of duties for each day.
It's a reminder.
What a
Aw.
cutie. Oh my
And
God.
Vinny's joy.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, somebody just laid hers back.
It's not happy. What are you doing to me?
I can't bring my girl in. If she gets in, she'll never leave. And she's not supposed to be in the house.
Gertie's a little more friendly. Look at her. She likes Zoom.
She
Yeah.
does like Zoom, but she was meowing so much that I thought she was interrupting. That's why I picked her up. Natalie, if you're looking for a vote, I vote with what you said. I think that's the way to go right now, not mandate it. But
Oh, is that Cecilia?
Bruce, to see ya.
Hello, girl. Hello, Cecilia.
Ellen can't believe what's going on.
Is it a sign that the meeting has been going on rather a long time?
Yeah. But, well, thank you. Thank you for this vote. I feel like we're in such a time of uncertainty and things are going to change rapidly and we have to roll with the punches. But I also don't want to be too extreme. Yes, we'll continue as we.
Oh, and can I please add that my mask lanyard is the great ally, and y'all who make them should be making some more. But I think they're going to be more useful in the months to come than they have been before because of this up and down and back and forth and not sure. And it's the perfect tool when you, especially in the summer when you need to breathe every so often.
Yeah.
We should be the go-to lanyard place.
Okay.
All right, that's enough about masks. I wish they'd just go away, but okay. So I don't know if Liz sent this email to anyone but me, but she sent me an email earlier and said that her husband has died suddenly.
Who
And
did?
Liz,
Who died?
Liz's sister.
Oh,
So she said it was unexpected and she would be in a turmoil over the next couple of weeks, but she should be fine to do her shift.
Gosh.
But I did want everyone to know, so at least we can send,
Okay, good.
Oh,
Wow.
get a card going at the gallery and get folks to sign it. So that was all she said about it. So I don't have any other details.
Well, her sister has been in hospice for the last couple of weeks. So, yeah.
Okay, well, that really stinks.
Mhm.
Did anybody have any questions about what I sent about the tips we came up with yesterday from the brainstorming?
Oh, I haven't seen them yet.
Okay,
Neither.
it was on the final agenda that I sent out sometime this afternoon. So
That's why I haven't seen it.
a couple of us already have decided that we are going to try a little experiment, a little marketing experiment. And we'll probably talk more about that unless you think we ought to talk about it now, Barbara, or?
Sure. Let's see.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna do it. Maybe we'll get more volunteers.
Go ahead. You had a nice way of presenting it. I'll let you have the honors.
Gemma alerted us to something that she ran into, she thought would be a fun thing to do. And that is when somebody buys something, if you are comfortable doing it, we're not going to ask everyone to do this. And if you think the customer may be up for it, you can offer them a 10% discount on their current purchase if they take a photograph of themselves with their purchases and put it on social media. And that'll have to be defined a little bit about that. But anyway, we thought we'd give it a shot. Gemma thought it was a great idea. She did it when she was in the chocolate company. And so a few of us are going to try it. I'm not going to offer it to people who look as old as I do.
Right.
But younger people, I will sure offer
You're
it to.
discriminating, young lady.
Well, I don't think most people my age use social media, you know, but I will profile. How's that?
There you go.
And people, you know, if they don't want it, they don't want it. But
Right.
Gemma did say that when she did this, they did verify that she had posted it. So you know, we need to work that out because that might cause a little bit of a delay, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I have a question because, you know, you sell somebody else's stuff. You cannot give them a discount on their
No,
stuff. right?
Oasis absorbs the discount,
Also,
just
You
like
can
we
offer-
have on other things.
Yeah.
it offers even on somebody else's item. Okay.
I don't think you were working in the gallery when we did all these discounts, Etta. And it's sort of a pain for me to go through and figure out what has to be given back to the member. But it's a unique way of doing stuff. So we'll try it, see if we like it or not.
For young people and stuff and pictures.
Don't
Okay, I
take
should-
my profiling too seriously.
I think it's worth a try.
Yeah.
I really
Okay.
do.
So I guess as far as the minutes go, we might ask which docents might be interested in doing this. We don't expect everyone will want to do this. I'm hard pressed to see Ron Landis doing this.
Yeah.
My example earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not mandatory. It'll be something we try and we'll see if it's fun, if it gives us more exposure, free exposure on social media. Because remember, when they post it, all of their followers get to see it, not just the same old Oasis ones.
Yes, and so that's the glory of it. And we don't have to do it when we're super busy and we have a line of people. But when you're having a slow time and you just have that one customer and you have a few minutes to spare with them, that's a perfect opportunity. So yeah, let's try it. And from Dennis, he was really very helpful. He sent me an email ahead of time in case he wasn't able to come to the meeting, but he was there and he is praising our rack cards. He shared a lot of data to back what he was saying, that rack cards work. Rack cards are bringing people in. He said, this is what the old farts look at and who has the money to spend and who comes in, the old farts like him. So
Hey, by the way, that's a direct quote.
the next quote, I am not calling that man names, but he was just delightful. So Barbara had a few ideas of new places to get some rack cards, like the old Stonewall Jackson Inn. We're trying to figure out a way to get into some B&Bs where we can get them in the packets that go in each room. That might be helpful.
I took some to the new
Oh, okay.
Rocktown Inn. Not
Uh-huh.
this year, but at the very end of last year, or right when they changed over to Rocktown. But I will take some more there. Yeah, I've taken some there.
One
So,
thing we
yes.
thought though, Sally, is offering them a gift certificate, giving them a $15 gift certificate when you go there, and see if we can get them to come into Oasis, because I don't think they've been in, and they're young people.
They are young people. She's a nutritionist. They're about Adam and Lee's age.
Right.
So yes, and getting them to
Late 30s.
help get them to promote it as well.
Right.
So,
Exactly. That's why we were going to give them that.
Yes.
You know, it's a little skimpy, but the thought is there.
Well, I'd come in to spend, get $15 off my purchase. I think
Yeah.
that's like, look what I bought and I got $15 off. The other one that I really liked was the invitation only. We talked about several different ways to do an invitation only, and I think at least one of them will come to fruition before the end of the year. Because Barbara and I are really going to work hard on that. Either a date night kind of thing, like an experience, or the one that may be easier for us to attain right now will be a holiday shopping for downtown business people, where we will advertise that we're closing the gallery early, say at 4 o'clock on a given day. And from 4 to 7, it will be shopping by invitation only for this specific group. And
Sorry, Karen, sorry.
I looked online and it's pretty easy to figure out the downtown businesses in Harrisonburg where we can send an invitation.
Great. We should have invitations printed, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, what I was going to say, could we extend that idea to that list of those favorite customers and the very steady and loyal customers and contributors, and offer something like that to them?
Sure. It's not a very long list, but sure.
That's probably
Makes it easier. Because to be a preferred shopper kind of means something.
And then, we could do things accordingly. We could figure out if we want to have beer and wine that night, hors d'oeuvres, or if the COVID's so bad that we don't want to have food, we won't. We might want to offer gift wrapping services. A couple of us set up tables and wrap their purchases. I would be happy to be one of the people doing that. So we can tweak it as we go. But I think that's a nice offering for people who are busy. They work. Oasis is closed when they leave work. This is why I don't visit any of the other downtown businesses, because I come to Oasis to open and they're not open yet. And when I leave, they're closing also. So nice
Want
to
to
have
be in
that.
front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. I see the whiskers.
She is whipping her tail and knocking every piece of paper off of my desk behind the computer. She's high maintenance, this one.
Look at her. She's on your keyboard next.
She is very high maintenance. She was on the keyboard. I threw her off. So, and
That's why that's proof that the earth is not flat. Because if it were, the cats would have knocked everything off the edge by now.
Thank you, Jilly.
well, I believe that. Any of those other ideas that you want to talk about, Barbara, or you think we should just let people see what they come up with according to the list?
I think it might be useful just to get people to read the list and then talk about it later.
Right.
But we'll forge ahead with this shopping idea.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice. And if we pamper people,
Yes.
glass of wine, some nice hors d'oeuvres. I make the best hors d'oeuvres, and Sarah will make her piggy pops, won't you?
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
And I love your idea of having a wrapping table. I'm not signing up for that because I'm a sloppy wrapper, but what a
I'm not
great
either.
idea,
I'll bring a helper for that one. I
Okay.
taught my kids how to wrap. So,
I love that too. So if you
Yeah.
need help, I help. I love wrapping.
Oh,
And we
wow.
should play
Good at
rap
putting
music.
things into bags with nice tissue, but that's about it.
Yeah, so I make it a wonderful experience for people, I think is very cool. Anyway, I'm glad so the
I'll arrange your
brainstorming
shrimp
session was
platter,
really,
Barb.
pardon?
I'll arrange your shrimp platter.
Oh, okay. The brainstorming session really came out with some good ideas. It was lots of fun, good group, and lots of good energy. So I'm glad we did it, and I hope we can follow through on some of the things.
I think so. And if you read over the list and you want to elaborate on any of it, or it might spark some new ideas, please share with the rest of us, because that's what we're all about. We're just looking, while we are healthy and moving forward, we want to think ahead where we want to go. Because the big thing that I thought is you can't focus on new marketing and new methods when you're down and out and you've got to sell and, just make it. So now is a good time for us to try these new things and see what might work, what might not work.
So is it your plan to open a second Oasis somewhere else?
Absolutely.
No, no.
Absolutely. You're on to me.
Well, no, wait a minute. We could have a pop-up.
We could. I think we have that at the farmer's market currently, but
Yeah.
it works.
Let's work on getting Shopify vibrant and people using it before
Right.
we talk about another brick and mortar.
Can you imagine? Whew.
Well, I think Shopify is slow because people are just so happy to be able to go somewhere,
Yes.
and just touch some stuff and pick their own stuff instead of going to the computer. I feel that way. I have been on Amazon for a whole year and I'm not going there unless I absolutely have to. So it's a nice thing to go out and see the world.
Sure is. And we're glad they're coming in to see us.
There you go.
That is
The
working.
more the better.
Well, anybody have anything else? I think I am done. Everybody else is done. So during this meeting, my neighbor informed us that there's a major water leak outside of our driveway. So my husband is frantic, and that's why there was a little commotion, but
Here.
so I said, here's the number. Call. We can't fix it.
Yeah.
So here we sit. I might not have water after tonight.
I hope it all
Wow.
works out.
It will.
Hope it
Does
works out
anything
well.
does anyone have anything for the newsletter
Hmm.
other than the press release?
Oh, speaking of the press release, Erin, can you send us the final copy?
She sent me something.
Yeah, me
I
too.
didn't get the final copy. I got the one she sent for us to review.
Right.
Oh.
Aaron, you're muted, Aaron.
Erin,
Yeah, I've
you're
been muted the whole time. I couldn't figure out
Sorry.
why no one was saying anything.
Yeah, I'll resend it.
Okay.
Great,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay, so I'm putting together the newsletter. If anyone has anything, let me know, please.
Okay. And thank
What, why do, we never talked, well, you should have a lot because it was a really busy press.
Yeah,
release.
I've got a lot, but
Yeah.
but I didn't know, like with the Oasis updates, I have the guitar show thing and the blurb on Mike Reisenberg. But I was thinking, well, maybe someone else had something else that they're doing.
Well, I know there are a couple shows coming up. If you want to put that information in the newsletter, I can forward
They'll
that.
send it to me. Yeah.
I will, because I'm doing one, the Shenandoah Gem and Mineral Society has a club show, and then the Waynesboro Art Show is also in October.
Okay.
I think,
Well,
I know.
Erin,
all-
aren't you doing Stanton or something?
Yeah, yeah, I'm doing the Art in the Park on Labor Day weekend.
Well, let me know so I
Yeah,
can
Art in
put
the
it
Park
in the,
usually Memorial Day, but they pushed it back to Labor Day this year because they thought maybe it'd be better for COVID. They probably would have been better
Yeah.
off, but
Yeah,
So
but,
Erin, are you doing Waynesboro also
yeah,
in October?
yeah.
Okay, so that's 3 Oasis artists doing the Waynesboro show.
okay.
That's
We're
newsworthy.
we're doing the Shenandoah Valley one also, of
I
course,
see.
and also one in Charlottesville.
Okay, well, I think that would be a benefit to Oasis artists to have the, the shows that you're gonna be in publicized.
You're right. Okay, well, I will send my information and I encourage Jilly and Erin to send
Yeah.
theirs.
Okay,
So
I
thank
think the judge for Art in the Park this year too is Michael Huff. Who you guys were
the
talking about,
jury?
the judge? Yeah,
Yeah,
not jury,
yeah,
the judge. Yeah,
yeah,
he's doing
cool,
judging. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, well, thanks for prompting that, Ellen.
okay,
Thanks for doing the newsletter. I know how much work it is. And I appreciate you.
yep, okay.
But you're getting so good at it.
Mm-hmm. Really, just shoot me.
No, no.
No, we do appreciate it.
Okay, and I'm taking a whole bunch of new rack cards up to Woodstock, so,
Thank you.
okay.
Does anybody know if there is any place around here where I can get some, or will be able to get some pansies for the flower boxes for fall? Because they should last maybe in that one by the door through the winter. where
Ooh,
it's
lovely.
sheltered.
Yeah, they're looking really good.
They
They
are, I have
They
to,
last
still.
over the winter in Tennessee. And they might be able to last in a sheltered location.
yeah,
over-
we've had pansies in there before, I think. so-
There are special winter hardy varieties too.
Yeah.
But I would
just
think
need
they'd be
to know
coming
where
in
to
right
get
now.
Some.
Doesn't Lowe's have those usually?
I
No?
have not seen any up here.
Huh.
I'll look at my local greenhouse. They have a greenhouse just up the street.
I'm not really looking for another month or so.
Okay, well, if I
Just
see
keep
that,
an eye out for
then
me.
yes, I'll try to keep my eye out and see what's there. I always have to look when I go by anyway. It's just so pretty.
Oh, I know. I do
Jill,
too.
Jilly, your boxes look really nice. You're really doing
Thanks.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
That's much more what I do.
Yay.
It looks,
Yeah.
you can tell you love it. So
I
it's
want to
very,
get some for my porch anyway, because my summer boxes are looking kind of crappy now. They kind of wind down around this time of year.
Yep, and everything gets so dry.
Yeah. Yeah, if we would have had some of this a little earlier. 'Cause we've had rain like every day up here.
Oh,
I take any rain I can get, so I no
But
complaints.
we had so
Tomorrow, a
much,
week,
we had it, so hot and dry for weeks. And it killed half the stuff on my deck, and now it's rained every day. It'd be nice to space out a little bit.
well, we water every day, but now we don't have water, so.
Jilly, you can't always get what you want.
Oh, I know. But
No,
sometimes
no,
you
baby.
get what you need.
Go fill your bathtub up, Natalie, while you still have water.
Yes, that would be what my husband would want to do, but I will fill some containers with drinking water. That's really all I'm super. concerned
Yeah, that's true.
Toilets, toilets.
Lester
Yeah,
flushes the bathtub water.
Yeah,
Good
you.
luck with it. We wish you well,
Yeah,
that everything goes okay.
At least it's city and it's not a personal problem, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, you guys,
Okay.
good
Did,
night.
did you want me to put this on the door?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much
Yes.
for hearing
All right,
that.
I'll do that tomorrow.
All right, everybody, stay well.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Hanging out.